watch the live stream, but I don't know what the hell was going on. I mean, they're telling me that I need $1 to pay a fee, and then and this and that. My account will tell me that, oh, insufficient funds, we could take your card. I look at my account, say, I still got money in my account. What's the hell going on? I mean, because he was sitting in the live stream link the night before, and I posted it on my social media platforms. Yeah, but did anybody talk to you or say anything to you about the live stream? If you know,
Like everybody, like at our bar, was on their phone watching it. They loved it. Everybody had their phone out and watching it on their phone. They loved it. I mean, I thought it was really cool how they did that. So everybody can watch it. It wasn't, so everybody watched it and they said they had a good time. Kansas kind of she Facebooked it live. So it was like I said, it was a good production. It was a good production what they did for these athletes. And then what they did, which was really cool, is like at 11 o'clock, no matter what, because the amateurs started at 11 o'clock. They stopped the amateur show no matter what, and the pros went on time, on cue. 3 o'clock, the pros went back on. So we were out of the building by 6:30, 6 o'clock. It was great. So I mean, the turnaround time wasn't very long, but but again, at the end of the day, you want a show like that was smooth, and they prioritized, like they had a special room just for the pros. So like they had a room just like for treats and snacks and everything just for the pros. The amateurs had a completely separate area. So if you're a pro, you're in one room. If you're an amateur, you're in a completely different room. So it was they treat them really nice.
that's pretty good. I mean, you're supposed to be because the pros are the top levels of your sport. And the amateurs, they need their own place. I mean, maybe you'll be surprised that some amateurs sneak in and say, "Hey, they're having pumpkin pie over there. We sneak in and get a slice."
They had 15 classic physique guys, 10 fitness girls, and 19 bodybuilders.
Wait a minute. My brother went out. I think he might went to a black zone. If Raheem Hamilton was here, tell Keith is on that Obama. You know, but he'll get back to us. But folks, it was I did not get a chance to see the show, and that was the
Yesterday,
uh,
so they had a good time. And we were right across from Disneyland, but couldn't do Disneyland because we had to stay off our feet.
yeah, yeah, because I think that was one thing I think that made the Orlando so popular when they had the Olympia, because you had Disney World, you had a place to go afterwards, especially if you had a family. Because like now with the Olympia back in Vegas, it's not much to do if you're somebody who you want to bring kids or something.
Uh, I don't gamble, so I shop.
I gamble every time I walk out my door. That's gambling to me. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm rolling the dice. That's gambling. But anyways, the subject is, as we now know, that this is a great show that they added. Like I said, do you think they need to add more shows for women's bodybuilding to the schedule? Like, if you're doing the Legion show, they don't have women's bodybuilding. And this is like qualification for next year's Olympia. And that same weekend as your Legion show, there's the Daytona. So that's also a women's physique. There's at least 4 or 5 shows that's Olympic qualification for for next year for women's physique, and only one that is the remaining Muscle Fest for next year. And that's I think that's really going a lot of competitors' way.
It's one of those things where, again, at the end of the day, it's like, as a woman competitor, you justify, spending that kind of money to get to a show. Romania, I mean, come on, it's like for one spot, it'd be different, and me and Janine were talking about this, me and can you turn that down? Me and Janine were talking about this yesterday, okay, you either make an exemption, you either do two things. You either bring in more shows or you bring back in the point system for women's bodybuilding. Those are the two options. Because we've been talking about this for a year now about the shows. So you either put in more shows, which is a promoter's type of deal, or you make a point system for the women so that more women can qualify to get into shows. And I think that'll be the logical thing to do is make an exemption to the rule for women's bodybuilding to bring the point system back in so that you have more numbers, more bodies in women's bodybuilding. You don't
Yeah,
have to do it
cause
for
like
everything, but you have to do it to the sports. You have to do it to the classes that, which is probably the lowest, the hardest classes, which is women's bodybuilding because there's not enough shows. So as we sit here and talk in circles about how to promote more shows, how to get people more involved in shows, again, at the end of the day, until that happens, you're gonna have to bring back in the point system. That's the only way this is gonna work.
yeah, because I think wheelchairs still have the point system, and fitness outside of women's bodybuilding is another division where they have fewer shows. Because this was like also a qualification for them. You know, if you have like 30, 40, 50 bikini shows and about 100 men's open shows, and then all the others have all these shows, and then you're seeing women like I said earlier, you're seeing more women go up to women's bodybuilding because like Ashley and Julia Wetzel and who else I'm trying to think of? A couple other girls who I
Ashley
saw.
Jones.
Ashley,
And
yeah. There's a long list.
Andrea Shaw is
Yeah,
another. She moved
yeah,
up, and the rest is history.
And
yeah.
I think that's why,
So
they're doing it because I mean like those numbers are so many numbers in women's physique that that's a tough crowd to be in. I mean, to be honest, because there's so many numbers where if you all these women are now because I forgot how many girls in this show just crossed over from women's physique.
Oops.
I think we just there goes.
There was at least three or four.
I think one lady actually she was on the list for fitness. That was Andy Boneman. I saw her on the list for fitness originally, but then she's doing women's bodybuilding because the list she was on the list for the when it set the list because I wanted to check to see was if any more names jumped on it. Like there was a couple ladies who I mentioned said they were probably gonna do the show, but they didn't do the show. Um, I thought Simone Gumba, but you did get an extra woman. Her name was Andy. She was doing fitness. And she started out doing physique and figure, and then she did fitness for the last couple of years, and then she
Did you say the
popped
girl
in.
was bodybuilding?
Yeah.
She didn't even know how to pose.
Yeah, because Tina said there was a girl
She
who
was
was
asking us how to pose.
because
Like,
she
why
like
would you do? Why are you
tell.
doing that? So
What?
I think she was in fitness, and we were backstage, and she was asking us what poses we do. Why are you even? Why are you stepping on stage as a bodybuilder at a pro show when you don't even know how to pose? Like I don't even fucking know what happened. I was looking at people like, what the hell is going on? It was crazy. She's like, so we do this, and we have a routine. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know what happened. She left to get her actual number with the fitness girls, but she went on stage with the bodybuilders and didn't even know what poses to do. How does that happen? Like, I don't even understand. I don't know. I was confused. But
Yeah, because like I said, I saw when I made my list and posted it, she was on the lineup with fitness. And then when I looked at
the
the
poses,
list for the who like when I saw the pictures were posted and I saw the
is she
list, I
a
said,
bodybuilder
wait
or
a
is
minute,
she a
hmm, what?
is she a bodybuilder or is she a fitness girl?
She was doing fitness. She started out in physique, but she was doing fitness the last couple of years. And
So why the hell was
she's
she on stage with bodybuilders?
I don't know. I can't,
Me neither.
because we
She's like, so a front lat spread, and she's like, how do we do this? And I'm like, I'm looking at other girls like, what the hell is going on? Like, she doesn't even know the poses. I don't know. It was the
and the
most
question
bizarre
is
shit.
like when y'all check in, because I know y'all check-ins, you put in what division you're gonna be competing in, right?
Right. I mean,
All
that
right.
would be like me going in as bodybuilding and then going on with the bikini girls. Can you see that shit?
No, maybe the
Exactly.
wellness girls, but
Oh my god, it's crazy.
but I like I said, it was just I was just like I said, I saw her when she was on the list. I said, when she fitness, and then she Is who? Somebody tell her, hey, you're in the wrong division. You need to be over here. Or, because it's not like she's an amateur. She's paying a check or she's paying anything to compete. But that's what it is. I don't know why it's so easy to fool it. I mean, she looked more like some pictures I've seen of her. She looks more like she could be because she was doing physique before. I think she earned a pro card as a physique competitor, and then she switched over to fitness and been doing that the last 3 or 4 years or so. And I might reach out to her and see if she might interest do an interview because I posted her with all the other girls who are doing fitness. But we have my man here, KL Wonder, aka the king of the OCB.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Hey, well, but my man KL, he's watching the live of the what's it the York tour York
And
tour
you have to.
Yorton,
York Cup,
Yorton Cup.
Yorton, yeah,
York Cup.
Yorton
Okay,
Cup,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. What Keith said something. We're waiting to get back, but and subject we're going about how we feel that there should be more opportunities for women's bodybuilding, especially with so few shows. Now, like I said again, this weekend there's at least two pro qualifiers for the Olympia for 2025 women's physique coming up in all the other divisions. And then there's I think also there's like two more after this, after the Olympia. And as people like as fans of sport, what do we need to do? Who we need to talk to? What promoters we need to say, hey, why did you add that division to your show? Since like I said again, you're gonna have a lot of competitors who's jumping over because they feel like they have a better opportunity in this division than in women's physique. Gentlemen, hello.
I
Well,
ain't got
well,
nothing to
well,
say.
well. For me, it's just that bear in mind they had 4 shows the beginning of the year with the original schedule that they yanked all of a sudden. Now they replaced those 2 of them with the Europa Pro and the Titans, but still, I mean, if you're going to commit to doing a show, why pull it at the very last minute? I
Because there
mean,
was
so I mean, so that hurts right there because that's if both of those are going to be pro qualifiers, then if both if those other 2 shows were going to be pro qualifiers, it's 2 more girls that could have been at the Olympia. So
mm,
I mean, if you're going to do that, but I think another thing is fans have got to start going to shows, and they have to start putting their money where their mouth is. They can't go going for live streaming or stuff like that for free, and people need to stop posting the pay-per-view webcasts for free. People need to be putting their money where their mouth is. They need to start either buying the webcasts or they need to start actually going to the shows because the promoters, that's what they're looking at, profit. That's what it's all about for them. This is
yeah.
not a charity. They're trying to recoup some of the expenses they have. Because geez, how much is it to have a division in a show? It's like thousands of dollars just to
It's
have the division at the show.
Yeah,
So
25,000 for the sanction fee, and then you got to think about another 20,000 to put for the prize money,
right.
and then all the other stuff like hair, makeup, everything else that comes involved with it. Tanning. You know, yeah, you have to. Yeah, I can say about the profit thing. Yeah, I
Mm.
understand that, but still, you know, the big problem is a lot of people can't afford to go all the way to like I would love to have gone to Anaheim and saw Tina. And there was like I said, there's a lot of ladies who was at that show who I did interviews with. I would love to saw them live, but that's the thing is not a lot of people have that deep pockets. And
Did
then mhm,
did you see that? Did you see the show? That you
no,
still had problems of looking at it?
yeah, I don't know what was
Oh,
going on. Say at one point it was some kind of streaming service. I think it was like through NBC sports some like
yeah.
streaming service. And then I try to see what so like when I try to join on, I said, well, just have $1 or something. Where they were saying like that was going to be like the down payment, and then I would watch the show. But then my somehow the thing wouldn't set my bank card, and then I don't know what was going on with it. I was talking with Nancy Lewis. She said the same thing with her, where, and I think some couple of people, I think Eunice, remember I went on live that later that afternoon. Eunice even mentioned she was having problems. I don't know. Maybe it was something.
Yeah.
Maybe it might have been for that area because sometimes I don't know. I felt like maybe because when Nancy, when let's say Janine told me that she was having problems, I thought maybe they're trying to black it out because just how when you have a football game, you black it out in the area where the game is played in. Depending, especially as the home team. But then you can watch someplace else. Like some kind of a. I think sometimes it's like you can watch it on your like something, but but whatever it was, I just couldn't get on. I took a step back, saying, well, maybe it's just something. I tried another card. I got a one. I have like a Cash App card, and I try to see if
Yeah.
I think I had $1 left on there because last time I used for something, but then it told me it was I didn't have enough funds left. I said, dang it, I still had $1 left on there. Must have bought something with it, and it was like a lot of. I just gave up. I mean, if I had money in my account, it's not like I wasn't broke. I know it's about the end of the month. It's not about the end of the month. When you live on Social Security, you gotta save every dollar you can. And I don't know. It was just whatever happened, whatever it was. Yeah, yeah,
Mm. Well, I see my show. I paid for
yeah. You paid for you
I
watch the
paid
show.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I paid. I mean, it was cool. I mean, I was on the live, and and people came on you, and like there was some OCB competitors was watching it with me and stuff. So
hmm,
I
yeah,
watched like I missed the women's physique, and then somebody was another OCB competitor. They was nice enough to like send me like the video and the picture, and like I watched the thing. I watched that series till the bikini because it's a lot of them, man. It's a lot of these women. Like it's like different classes, like A, B, C, D, or something like that. And some of it, I just fell asleep. I didn't even care who won. But I know some chick won. Some girl won. But after a while, I was like, yo, this is a lot. Because
yeah.
I like even when I was on the live, like it ain't too many people that came on. I think your girl came on, Eunice, but it was bad rap. It's either those two, and then it had an intermission, and then I came back on. I came back on with the live, but it was like it's just so many of them. Like it's so many of them. It's like after a while, I just fell asleep. It put me to sleep. And then when I woke up, I seen somebody won. It was posted on our Instagram.
Yeah, most like I said, with that's like so like they do when they do like ABC like that. That's usually in the amateurs because they usually have
Yeah,
they have those kind of classes. Like with the amateurs, it's like with exception of women's bodybuilding, men's physique, and all that, they have weight classes. Physique, bikini, wellness, those divisions have those letter classes A, B, C, and D. They don't have weight classes like they have in the other divisions.
yeah,
But yeah, like I said, it was pretty cool. I watched a little bit of it. I was trying to watch, the Titan show, but like I said
yeah.
again, it was I don't know what was going on with their pay per view. I mean, if Wing Strength promoted that show, it wasn't sponsors behind it. It should have went with the same company that does Wings of Strengths. I mean, that's not that hard for me to get on because I'm a member and I could just pop on and boom. With some of the others I can get on easily. I've watched like
Hmm.
quite a few pay per views the last few months. I watched Triple O, I watched the Vancouver, watched New York, even watch some of Alina's classic and also the Europa Pro. I think did I watch the Imperial? I think we can. I think Art, you told me that the Imperial because they weren't accepting money as to be euros or something. Well, somebody told me that. Was it you?
What was that?
It was the Imperial. I think somebody told me. Was it you or somebody told me that the Imperial was like they weren't accepting money or something. American money was euros or something.
That wasn't me.
I must have been. I think it might have been David. David might have told me. I remember somebody mentioned it to me. I saying there was some issue with the Imperial because you couldn't use American money or something, whatever. But the thing is, yeah, I know what when you mentioned Jeremy, how how the whole thing, how people like to live stream some of these shows when they're there, because sometimes, especially when you're a family member, you want to support your family member, or sometimes you have people that might want to watch a show and may not want to pay the cost of it. I understand, it's like when you go to like you go to a club, you want to get in for free, you got a hookup. I used to go to this club down the street where I used to work at. Sometimes the guy knew my face. If I came in before happy hour where I get him free, he said, "Yo, you're cool. You can come on in. You always come in here and hanging out." But the thing is, I think if the money was better for, especially for these shows where, and like Keith said, they had a lot of people there, and I did see some at one point where they did like pan, they put it into the story for muscle contest. They pan, and it was a deep crowd because this was, I think, being this was the last show for women's bodybuilding, fitness, and also men's classic. A lot of competitors want to jump on, maybe get the opportunity to get to Olympia because you know what, you don't want to sit and wait the next year. You want to make it for this show because this is a big show. It's the 60th anniversary of the Olympia.
So Heather Hunter, like she that's her
Not
name, right?
not Heather, another porn star. Wait, you call her?
What's her name? What's her name?
It's
What's
it's Hunter Henderson.
okay, Hunter.
Hunter Henderson. Not it's not. You you call her,
Okay, Hunter Heather.
yeah, Hunter Henderson. Now you call her
Hunter
Heather Hunter. She's
Hunter
not a porn
Henderson.
star.
Henderson.
I know what
Yeah,
you.
my bad.
I know what you're thinking about. And like I said, Hunter, I think she was one of the youngest competitors at the show because I think she's not even
Yeah,
30 yet. Because I think when she turned pro,
yeah,
she was like 25, and she competed the same year she turned pro. She did her first show, got a pro card. That was in Anaheim, and then she did her second show. That was the USA's. A couple months later, and you got a pro card. Actually did a regional first, which qualified for the USA's, and then she took second to Mona at the Tampa Bay in 2021. And after that, there was talk about maybe she might get invited to the Rising Phoenix, or she, maybe do another show. But some stuff with her happened, and she disappeared. And like I said, she's impressive. I mean, I follow on social media. I posted, congratulations, and she liked that. I mean, she has great potential. How's she gonna do with Olympia? Well, I could say honestly, I think she could be a top 10
is she a
fighter.
bodybuilder division? Is she in body?
That was at the show. What other division I'm talking about?
Oh,
Get get
okay. Oh,
get on board,
it
brother. Get
was
on board.
just I didn't watch the show. I just seen your
But
post.
I've been
That was
talking about
it.
this
I
show.
didn't.
Yeah, but no, wait a minute. I've been talking about this show. I've been talking about this. You know, this is what I tell you. Yeah, I try to teach you some stuff. You know, because no, I've been on just talking about the show for the past 2 weeks. Okay, I, I, what you got in
I
your
ain't
mind?
got nothing to
Talking
say.
about Heather Hunter. I know you got your because, but she, like I said, she's impressive. I mean, like I said, she's still young, not even 30 yet. I don't think she's 30. And she does a lot. She was doing a lot of powerlifting for a good while, and she
Yeah,
did,
I know.
yeah, and she did pretty good at Chicago. Placed second to Sherry. Now, if Sherry has won Portugal, I think Hunter would have won Chicago. Anybody agrees? Okay,
Whatever you say.
have your mind. Yeah, that's it. We got here my man Big Keith. He's back.
It's in the mountains,
Yeah, yeah.
in the desert.
Because he's right now he's driving to Nevada. It's what show is that in Nevada? Carson
Legion
City.
Sports Fest. Legion Sports Fest.
I think.
2,500 athletes.
Yeah, I saw the yes. They hadn't put out. I think they hadn't put out the list yet. I think they might put it out later this evening, and I will post it. I will mention my man Big Keith. Uh, I might try to watch it. Like I said again, I'm going to try to watch it. I know they have like I think they have the amateurs that Saturday. I think the pros Sunday.
So I compete pros compete Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday.
It's all fucked up. I compete open bodybuilding Saturday, masters Sunday.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Well, I know
So
usually do the Masters.
That's a
Usually,
lot.
yeah,
yeah,
usually I do the Masters first, so get that out of the way and do the
that's what
Open
I thought.
last.
That's what I thought. So it's gonna be a long weekend.
Oh, yeah, brother, you be tired. I mean, lucky you got your woman with you. You hold your
Hey,
hand. Yeah.
just so you know, the kids and I will not be around him for most of Saturday and Sunday because he's gonna be a fucking crab ass. So we will we'll cook it. We'll warm his food up, make sure he's good, tuck him into bed, and get the fuck out. That's all I'm saying. That's how that shit's rolling.
Well, wait a minute. Wasn't he was there for you? Wasn't he there for you? And you, come on, that's
Why
your
did you put me on
man.
blast? Like,
That,
why'd you
that,
put
that,
me on
that's,
blast?
that's your man. That's your baby daddies. Come on. What?
Hey,
Come on.
I'm already ready. I'm ahead of schedule, so I ain't tripping.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
don't mean he
Forget
ain't
her.
crab.
Forget her. We
That
got
don't
you
mean I'm
back,
not
brother.
grabby. You ain't lying. That don't mean I'm not grabby.
Nah.
He can't be a
Ain't
little bitchy.
ain't marriage grand?
That's why I'm still single.
It
Yeah,
ain't
I had
fun
my
being
That's
single
woman.
all
that's
the
check to
time. I
collect.
ain't gonna lie.
Well,
But
I
That's the
have,
check
I
to
have,
collect.
yeah, I had my woman. I call her Ma. She was my woman. I loved her. I just got out and did things I needed to do with the man. Came back to her. That was my woman. Yeah, sometimes it's itch you got to scratch. You can't scratch it all the time. So find somebody to scratch it for you. There's kids out there got to be careful. But yeah, like I said, I was gonna say I wish I could have watched the show, the live stream. I think I was really excited to see the show, and I'm glad the guy liked the fact that he had a good amount of ladies. This was, I think, the most women outside of the Olympia for any women's bodybuilding show. I mean, and that's the thing is the numbers. It's important because that's why Jack Tony's kicked out Wayne Physique from his show for next year. I think like I was thought maybe more people would jump on the Anita show in Europa, but still it was a good number compared to some of the others. Um, I think like the media show, they could if you get somebody to probably put up the sanction fees and prize money, they could add women's bodybuilding because that show's been around for a long time. It's a big show. They said they got a better sports festival than the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic.
Yeah, the Legion show. It'll be interesting to see next year if they add women's bodybuilding because, again, there's 2,500 athletes going to be at this show total. So I understand it's a big show. It's kind of like the Arnold, but a smaller version. So it'll be interesting if they bring it in next year. It'd be cool because they got everything but women's bodybuilding in it.
Yeah, that thing is just gotta find somebody who wants to. I don't know. Jake, he's stretched out. He has the Olympia. He's doing this show, the Rising Phoenix, everything else. If there was another person that came in and maybe step up, because I tell this to guys out there, I know you guys out there are fans of the division, and you wish there was more shows, especially the closer to you, because other than shows like New York and Tampa, now you have the Triple O Dynasty. It's crazy that they're going to do the Masters Olympia all the way in Japan, and shows like the Tampa. I'm hoping next year Texas Pro will add women's bodybuilding. Just need somebody who wants to put up the money for the sanction fees and the prize money and everything else. If you can get a group of people, like one person I often talk about this is like Eunice. She does bad rap, and she says she would love right now. Bad rap just starting up. They really get a little steam up. She would love to maybe in the future because she was one of the promoters for Triple O Dynasty. Maybe do another show because she's right there in Texas. And I was talking about how Texas do need women's bodybuilding shows there. There was going to be one 2 years ago, but then I don't know what happened with that. It was on the list at one point, and then it was gone. You know, and you have bodybuilders in Texas like Layla's there, Ashley's there. When she was still competing,
My stomach didn't
Ashley
grow much.
Hadley.
I mean, again, it's one of those things where I don't know, like, somebody like Tamer can do it because he has 200 and something shows, you know, a year. He has that's what his bragging point was during this show. They put on the most shows and produced the most amateur pro am shows in the country. So he can do that, and, again, when you've seen the numbers that he produced this show for a first time show, you know, I mean, why wouldn't you? You take care of the athletes. You know, they got their own room backstage, and and he does the California Pro, and I've done that show a few times, where we have our own private area. They give us gift cards to Cheesecake Factory, all kinds of shit. So, it's one of those things where when you take care of athletes, athletes are wanting to come to your show, and again, I just think a lot of girls in particular didn't know too much about this show because it's the first time show. And on top of that, they didn't know. I mean, remember last week before we talked, because we're like, Hunter doesn't know what she's talking about. It's not an Olympia qualifier. And they made it an Olympia qualifier. So here's the thing, what I say about that. How interesting is this? Remember me, you, and Art all were on the show 2 or 3 weeks ago saying, hey, this is not a fucking Olympic qualifier. I don't know who told Hunter that. And then all of a sudden it becomes an Olympic qualifier. So that goes to tell you that between Jake and Jim Mannion, that they can do whatever the hell they want to do. Because remember that we all said the cutoff date was September 14th. So that goes to tell you that they can do whatever they want to do. So if they wanted to put the point system back in, they could put the point system back in, right?
Yeah.
If you can make this a last chance qualifier for the classic physique, fitness, and women's bodybuilding, you can do whatever the hell you want. Especially when you're the money behind the machine.
Yeah, at one point, like, Jake was hanging out with them at the Pittsburgh Pro this year, and there was only two competitors to that show. I interviewed one of them, Natalie Way Wolf. She was pretty good. And they announced they're going to make themselves their own expo, the Pittsburgh Pro. They announced that. I think Tyler announced it at the show. And this is why I'm saying this: if Jake's going, even though Jake he runs the Olympia, if Jake's hanging out with Jim Mannion, he knows that he has to say, you know what? Let's add women's bodybuilding to this show, because there's a lot of women around the Pittsburgh area that will probably love to go to a show like that. That's closer for them. Pittsburgh, New York. You got women in Delaware. I know a lady who competes. She's in Chicago. That'd be a show closer to her. And like with Gary Hewitt, he has his shows. He has all those half a million shows, like the amateur shows